I never thought my own family would try to financially manipulate me, but sitting in my office that Tuesday morning, staring at my sister Amanda's text messages, I realized just how entitled they'd become. I'm Sarah Mitchell, 34, Chief Technology Officer at DataStream Solutions. After years of hard work and careful financial planning, I'd finally reached a place of stability. My downtown apartment was paid off, my investment portfolio was healthy, and I could breathe easy knowing I had a solid safety net. If only my family would let me enjoy it. Come on, Sarah, it's perfect for us. Amanda's voice bubbled through my phone speaker during our video call. She was showing me around a sprawling beach house in Newport Beach, her perfectly manicured nails tapping against her phone camera as she gestured at the ocean view. 4 bedrooms, private beach access, and look at that infinity pool. I pinched the bridge of my nose, already feeling a headache coming on. Amanda, why are you showing me this? Because you're going to help us buy it, silly. She laughed like it was the most natural thing in the world. Tom and I found our dream home, but we need a little help with the down payment. A little help? I repeated, my stomach tightening. How much exactly? Just $200,000, she said casually, as if asking to borrow a sweater. The house is listed at $750,000, and we have some savings, but with Tom's new business just starting up. I nearly choked on my coffee. $200,000. Are you serious? Don't be dramatic, Sarah. It's not like you can't afford it. We all know how much you make. Her tone shifted from bubbly to slightly accusatory. Besides, what else are you doing with all that money? No husband, no kids, it's just sitting there. The familiar guilt trip. According to my family, being single and childless at 34 meant I had no real expenses or needs of my own. Never mind the years of 80-hour weeks, the sacrifices, the careful planning that got me here. Amanda, I can't just give you $200,000. Not give, invest. We'll pay you back, of course. And you can use the house too. Think of it as a family vacation home. I thought about the last time I'd invested in one of my sister's schemes. 3 years ago, she convinced me to put $50,000 into her boutique clothing store. The business lasted exactly 8 months before closing, and I never saw a dime of that money again. What about the boutique, Amanda? You still haven't paid me back for that. Her face darkened. That's not fair. The market was terrible, and you know I had pregnancy complications that year. Besides, that's different. This is a house real estate always appreciates. I took a deep breath. I'm sorry, but I can't. It's not responsible financial planning and, not responsible, she cut me off. What's not responsible is having all that money and refusing to help your own sister. God, Sarah, you've always been so selfish. No wonder you're alone. The words stung, but I held firm. My answer is no, Amanda. Fine, she snapped. I'm telling Mom and Dad. The call ended, and I leaned back in my chair, knowing exactly what was coming. Within minutes, my phone started buzzing with messages in our family group chat. Mom, Sarah, how could you do this to your sister? She has a family to think about. Dad, very disappointed in you. Family should come first. Amanda, she doesn't care about family. All she cares about is her precious money. I started typing a response, trying to explain basic financial responsibility, but Amanda beat me to it. Amanda, don't ask us for money again. You're dead to us. Have fun dying alone with your bank account. Mom added, You've really shown your true colors, Sarah, after everything we've done for you. I stared at the messages, a hollow laugh escaping me. Everything they'd done for me. Let me think about that. There was the college fund they promised but spent on Amanda's wedding instead, leaving me to work 2 jobs while studying engineering. The time they'd borrowed $30,000 for Dad's sure-thing investment that never paid off. The $15,000 they needed for Mom's medical bills, which I later discovered were actually for her luxury cruise. The countless smaller loans that were never repaid. Opening my desk drawer, I pulled out a thick folder labeled Family Finances. Inside was every receipt, every transfer record, every IOU from the past decade. I'd started keeping track after the boutique disaster, finally facing the reality of my family's financial manipulation. The total made me sick. $287,453. That's how much they'd borrowed from me over the years. None of it repaid. All of it conveniently forgotten. My phone buzzed again. A private message from Amanda. Amanda, I hope you're happy. Mom's crying, Dad's furious, and my kids won't get their dream home. All because their aunt is a heartless witch. Don't bother coming to Thanksgiving. I set my phone aside and opened my laptop. With methodical precision, I began scanning the documents from my folder, every receipt, every bank statement, every text message asking for money. I created a PDF, neat and organized, with running totals and dates. Then I did something I should have done years ago. I forwarded everything to my financial advisor and lawyer. Hi Sarah, my advisor wrote back almost immediately. I've been wanting to discuss your family's financial demands. This pattern is concerning. Would you like to schedule a meeting? Yes, I decided. Yes, I would. As I typed my response, another message popped up in the family group chat. A photo of my parents and Amanda's family at a restaurant with a caption, "Real family sticks together. Guess someone's not real family anymore." I looked at their smiling faces, then at the financial records on my screen. They were right about one thing: real family should stick together. But real family doesn't treat you like an ATM. Real family doesn't manipulate and guilt you. Real family doesn't make their love conditional on your bank account. My hands shook slightly as I picked up my phone and typed a message to the group. You're right, real family doesn't do what you've done. Check your emails, I've just sent you all something interesting to read. Let's talk about who really supports whom in this family. I hit send and turned off my phone. Tomorrow would bring chaos, I knew that. There would be anger, denials, probably threats. But for the first time in years, I felt light, free. Sometimes standing up for yourself means being willing to lose people who only loved you for what you could give them. Sometimes being family means knowing when to say no. I grabbed my keys and left the office early. I had a meeting to prepare for and a new chapter of my life to begin. One where I finally put myself first. The next morning, I walked into my office at 7 a.m., deliberately early to prepare myself for the storm I knew was coming. I'd spent the night alternating between anxiety and a strange sense of peace, knowing I finally stood up for myself. My phone, which I turned back on, showed 47 missed calls and over 100 messages. I scrolled through them briefly. Mom, how dare you keep records like this? What kind of daughter tracks every penny? Dad, this is a betrayal of family trust. Delete that email immediately. Amanda, you're pathetic, keeping receipts like some obsessed accountant. Get over yourself. But the one that really caught my eye was from my younger cousin Michael. Hey Sarah, saw the family drama unfolding. For what it's worth, I think you're right. Call me if you need to talk. I smiled slightly. Michael had always been different from the rest of the family, working his way through medical school without asking for handouts. We weren't close, but I appreciated his message. My office phone rang, startling me. It was reception. Ms. Mitchell, your sister is here. She's quite insistent about seeing you. I took a deep breath. Send her up, Jenny, and maybe call security to stand by, just in case. Moments later, Amanda burst through my office door, her face red with anger. She was still wearing her yoga clothes, her hair perfectly styled despite the early hour. How could you? She shrieked, waving her phone. Do you know how humiliating it was to see all those loans listed out like that? You made us look like beggars. I remained seated, keeping my voice calm. Those weren't loans, Amanda. Loans get repaid. Oh, don't act so superior. You think you're so perfect with your fancy job and your spreadsheets. You've ruined everything. What exactly have I ruined? I asked, genuinely curious. Your plan to guilt me into buying you a beach house. Mom and Dad are devastated. They trusted you. They trusted me to keep quiet and keep paying. That's different from actual trust. Amanda slammed her hands on my desk, making my coffee cup rattle. Take it down. Delete the email. Tell everyone it was a mistake. No. No. She looked genuinely shocked. In our family, confrontation usually ended with someone, usually me, backing down to keep the peace. No, I repeated firmly. I'm done pretending. I'm done being the family bank, and I'm definitely done apologizing for my success. Success. She laughed bitterly. You call this success? Sitting alone in your office, counting other people's money? At least I have a family who loves me. Love shouldn't come with a price tag, Amanda. You bitch. She grabbed my coffee cup and hurled it against the wall. The crash brought my assistant and a security guard running. "Miss Mitchell?" the guard asked, taking in the scene. "Please escort my sister out," I said quietly. "And Jenny, could you call maintenance about the wall?" As they led Amanda away, she turned back, mascara running down her face. "Mom's right, you'll die alone and miserable." After she left, I sat in my chair, hands shaking slightly. My phone buzzed with a text from Mom. "Your father's blood pressure is through the roof because of your stunt. If anything happens to him, it's on your head. We raised you better than this." I thought about that last line. Had they really raised me better? Or had they raised me to be a convenient source of financial support? My financial advisor, Kate, called around noon. "I've reviewed everything," she said. "Sarah, this is serious financial abuse. They've taken advantage of you for years. Have you considered legal action?" "They're my family," I said automatically. Family or not, $287,453 is a significant amount. And these patterns of emotional manipulation. "I know," I sighed. "But I don't want their money. I just want them to stop asking for more." "Then we need to set up strong boundaries. I've drafted a financial independence plan. Can you come by this afternoon?" I agreed, then spent the next few hours buried in work, trying to ignore the continuing stream of messages. But one email caught my attention. From my father's email address, but clearly written by my mother. "Since you insist on being cruel and calculating, here's our response to your records. College fund. We needed that money for Amanda's wedding because she was starting a family. You were single and could work. Dad's investment. That would have paid off if you hadn't rushed in to sell. The cruise. My health problems were stress-related. I needed that vacation because of your constant judgment. Amanda's boutique. A mother supporting her child's dreams is not a waste. You've clearly done well for yourself despite our terrible parenting, so congratulations. You've proven your point. You're the successful one, the responsible one, the one who doesn't need family. We won't bother you for anything else. But remember this moment when you're old and alone, wondering why nobody visits you." I forwarded the email to Kate and headed to her office. She was already analyzing it when I arrived. "Classic DARVO," she said. "Deny, attack, reverse victim and offender. They're making themselves the victims of your success rather than acknowledging their behavior." We spent 2 hours crafting a financial independence plan. No more loans, no more guilt-driven investments, no more enabling. Kate also recommended therapy to help me deal with the emotional fallout. As I left her office, my phone rang. Michael again. "Hey," he said when I answered, "Want to grab dinner? Sounds like you could use a friendly face." Over Thai food, Michael shared his own experiences with the family's financial expectations. "They tried the same with me during med school," he said. "Wanted me to take out extra loans to help with various emergencies. I said no and got the same treatment. Guilt trips, silent treatment, the works. But they got over it eventually." Did they? Or did they just move on to easier targets? He considered this. "Fair point. They did start hitting you up more after I refused. I'm sorry about that." "Not your fault." I pushed my pad thai around my plate. I keep wondering if I'm overreacting. Maybe I should have helped with the beach house." "Sarah," Michael leaned forward, "you've given them nearly $300,000. That's not normal. That's not okay. And the fact that they're angry at you for pointing it out rather than ashamed of taking advantage, that tells you everything you need to know." Later that night, I returned to my apartment to find my parents waiting in the lobby. My doorman looked uncomfortable. "They insisted on waiting, Ms. Mitchell. Should I?" "It's okay, Carlos. I'll handle this." Mom stepped forward, arms outstretched. "Honey, we need to talk." "No," I stepped back. "Whatever you have to say, you can say it over email or through my lawyer." "Lawyer?" Dad's face darkened. "Is that how far you'll take this? Suing your own parents?" "I'm not suing anyone. I just want it to stop." "We're family," Mom insisted. "Families help each other." "When was the last time you helped me?" I asked quietly. "When was the last time either of you supported my dreams instead of just asking for money?" They exchanged glances, clearly struggling to come up with examples. That's what I thought. I turned to the elevator. "Please leave before I have to call security." "Sarah Elizabeth Mitchell." Mom's voice rose. "Don't you dare walk away from us." But I did. I walked away, rode the elevator to my floor, and entered my quiet apartment. And for the first time in years, the quiet didn't feel lonely. It felt like peace. 3 months after sending those financial records, I sat in my therapist, Dr. Weber's office, discussing the changes in my life. Your family hasn't attempted any contact in 2 weeks, she noted, reviewing her notes. How does that make you feel? I considered the question carefully. After the confrontation in my lobby, things had escalated dramatically. Amanda had gone on a social media rampage, posting thinly veiled stories about toxic, selfish siblings. Mom had called my office so many times we had to block their numbers. Dad even showed up at my favorite coffee shop one morning, leading to an awkward scene where I had to leave without my latte. But now, silence. Honestly, I said, it feels both liberating and terrifying. Like I can finally breathe, but I'm also waiting for the other shoe to drop. Dr. Weber nodded. That's a common feeling when establishing boundaries with family. Have you been maintaining the self-care routines we discussed? I had, without the constant drain of family emergencies, had redirected my energy into my own life. I joined a local book club, started taking boxing classes, and even begun dating again, something that had always taken a backseat to family drama. My phone buzzed. A text from Michael. Heads up. Amanda's pregnant again. Expect the financial requests to start soon. I showed the message to Dr. Weber. And how does this information make you feel? Surprisingly calm, I realized. A year ago, this news would have sent me into a panic, knowing they'd expect me to help with baby expenses. Now, it's not my responsibility. Just then, my phone lit up with a call from an unknown number. I declined it, but moments later, a voicemail appeared. Sarah, it's Mom. I know we've had our differences, but this is about family. Amanda's pregnant, and with Tom's business still struggling, we need to discuss the future. Call me back. Dr. Weber watched as I deleted the voicemail. Well handled. You're maintaining your boundaries. After my session, I walked to a nearby park, something I'd started doing to clear my head. My phone kept buzzing with messages from unknown numbers. Clearly, the family had mobilized for Amanda's pregnancy announcement. Aunt Susan, your sister is having another baby. Time to put aside petty differences. Uncle Bob, family first, Sarah, don't be stubborn. Mom, new number. Your niece needs her nursery furnished. Don't be selfish. I blocked each number methodically, remembering Kate's advice. Every time they tried to breach your boundaries, reinforce them stronger. My phone rang again. Michael. They're planning an ambush, he warned. Family dinner at your parents' house this Sunday. They're going to surprise you with a baby budget they expect you to fund. I laughed, but it wasn't humorous. Let me guess, Amanda needs a bigger house for the new baby. Actually, they want you to buy up Tom's failing business partner so he can focus on family. Of course they do. I sat on a park bench, watching children play nearby. Thanks for the warning, Michael. No problem. Oh, and Sarah, I'm proud of you for standing your ground. That evening, I received an email from Amanda, the first direct contact in weeks. Subject, a new beginning. Dear Sarah, I know we've had our differences, but I'm reaching out with wonderful news. You're going to be an aunt again. Despite your recent behavior, we want to give you a chance to be part of this baby's life. Mom and Dad are hosting a family dinner this Sunday to discuss the future and how we can all support this new blessing. Please don't let your stubbornness deprive my children of their aunt. Love, Amanda. I forwarded the email to Dr. Weber and Kate, then drafted my response. Amanda, congratulations on your pregnancy. I wish you, Tom, and the baby well. However, I won't be attending Sunday's dinner. I understand that this pregnancy brings new financial challenges, but I am not in a position to provide monetary support. I would love to be part of your children's lives as an aunt, not as a bank. If you're interested in building that kind of relationship, I'm open to discussion. Sarah. The response was swift and predictable. I knew you, once a selfish witch, always a selfish witch. Don't worry about being part of their lives. They don't need an aunt who cares more about money than family. I closed my laptop and poured myself a glass of wine. On my kitchen counter sat an invitation to my company's annual charity gala. For the first time in years, I'd RSVP'd yes. No longer worried about keeping that evening free for potential family emergencies. My doorbell rang. Through the security camera, I saw Mom, Dad, and Amanda standing there, loaded with what looked like photo albums. I pressed the intercom. I'm not available. Sarah, please, Mom's voice crackled through the speaker. We brought baby pictures. Remember how close you and Amanda were? Do you want your nieces and nephews to miss out on that relationship? My relationship with my nieces and nephews was never the issue, I responded. My boundaries about money are non-negotiable. Please leave. You've changed, Amanda said, her voice thick with tears. You're not the sister I grew up with. You're right, I said. I'm not, and that's a good thing. I turned off the intercom and sat on my couch, surrounded by peaceful silence. My phone lit up with a message from my book club. Still on for Thursday, we're discussing Boundaries by Henry Cloud. I smiled at the irony and replied yes. The family's attempts at contact gradually shifted from aggressive to passive-aggressive. Social media posts about true family values and money can't buy love appeared regularly. Christmas cards arrived addressed to our financially successful but emotionally poor daughter. But with each attempt, my resolve strengthened. I was building a new life, one where my worth wasn't measured by my bank account's accessibility to others. Dr. Weber called it emotional evolution. I called it finally growing up, something my family had tried to prevent by keeping me trapped in a cycle of financial dependency. As I got ready for bed that night, I looked at my reflection and saw something new. Not the dutiful daughter, not the reliable ATM, but a woman who had finally learned to value herself more than others' expectations. My phone buzzed one last time, another unknown number. But this time, instead of anxiety, I felt only certainty as I pressed block. Some family ties, I'd learned, are actually chains, and breaking free, while painful, was the best gift I could give myself. 1 year later, I stood at the podium of the Regional Business Awards accepting the Technology Innovation of the Year award for my team's groundbreaking work at Data Stream Solutions. As I scanned the applauding crowd, I noticed someone filming with their phone, probably another family member gathering evidence of my selfish success. The past year had transformed my life in ways I never expected. Without the constant drain of family financial emergencies, I focused on my career and personal growth. My team had developed a revolutionary data security system, earning us not just this award, but also a substantial bonus. After the ceremony, my assistant handed me my phone. Your sister's baby announcement is trending in the family circle, she said gently. I checked social media to find photos of Amanda's new baby girl, born 2 weeks ago. The caption read, "Welcome to the world, Sarah Grace." Named after the aunt who sadly chose money over family. Hope one day she realizes what she's missing. The old me would have crumbled, rushing to make amends with a generous baby gift. The new me simply closed the app and headed to my celebration dinner with my team. Over champagne and gourmet food, my coworker Jessica raised her glass. To Sarah, who taught us all that setting boundaries isn't just about saying no. It's about saying yes to yourself. Later that night, I received an unexpected email from Tom, Amanda's husband. Sarah, I'm writing this while Amanda's asleep. The business failed last month. Your parents have remortgaged their house to help us, and we're still drowning. I know we've treated you terribly, but I'm desperate. Could we meet? Tom. I forwarded the email to Kate before replying. Tom, I'm sorry about your business, but I can't help financially. However, I'm happy to share contact information for some excellent financial advisors and career counselors. Sarah. His response was immediate. Never mind. Amanda was right about you. A week later, Michael called with news. They're selling the family home. Mom and Dad are moving in with Amanda and Tom. I felt a pang but reminded myself. Their financial decisions weren't my responsibility anymore. There's more, Michael continued. They're telling everyone it's your fault, that their financial problems started when you abandoned them. I laughed softly. Let them talk. The truth is in those receipts I kept. That evening, I attended my weekly book club. We'd become close friends over the past year, these women who accepted me without questioning my bank balance. As I shared the latest family drama, Maria, our group's psychologist, spoke up. You know what's interesting? They named the baby after you. Even in their anger, they're acknowledging your importance. Or trying to guilt me back, I replied. Probably both, she smiled. Walking home, I passed a real estate office. In the window was a listing for my parents' house, the home where I'd grown up. The description read, perfect for a growing family, motivated sellers. I could buy it. The thought came unbidden. I had the money now. even more than before thanks to smart investments and no family withdrawals. I could sweep in, save the day, be a good daughter again. But that would just restart the cycle. Instead, I went home and wrote an email to my entire family. Dear all, I understand the family home is being sold. I know you expect me to prevent this, but I won't. Not because I don't care, but because I care enough to stop enabling financial dependence. I'm happy to help in non-monetary ways, financial planning, career coaching, or emotional support. I'm willing to rebuild relationships based on love rather than money. The choice is yours. Sarah. I hit send and blocked all their numbers again, knowing they'd try calling immediately. That night, I updated my family finances folder, adding a new section, Boundaries Maintained. Inside, I put screenshots of every request I'd declined, every guilt trip I'd resisted, every step toward financial and emotional freedom. The final entry was a note to myself. Sometimes love means letting people face the consequences of their choices. Sometimes family means breaking toxic patterns. Sometimes the strongest thing you can say is no. I closed the folder, knowing this chapter of my life was finally ending. Whatever came next, whether estrangement or reconciliation, would be on my terms. My phone lit up with a text from my book club. Next week's topic, creating your own family. You in? Absolutely, I replied, smiling. Because that's what I'd done, created my own family of friends who valued me for who I was, not what I could give them. And in the end, that was worth more than all the beach houses in the world.